Well, delighted to be joined by Cory McKenna. A few days ago, non-UFC fighter now in the UFC. How does it feel? First of all,
yeah, it's amazing. Like, it's still surreal. I walked into the gym this morning, and everyone was like, "Hey, like the newest UFC fighter." And I was just like, "Oh wait, that's me." Yeah, like it's gonna take some getting used to, but I'm really looking forward to this next chapter.
yeah. How did you find sort of the night and the fight? How did you rate your performance?
I think I could have got the stoppage. Like, I was still a little bit annoyed with myself about that. But again, like I fought the best girl outside of the UFC. I impressed Dana White. So I really can't like fault myself too much. Like obviously I'm gonna watch it, study. I've watched it. I'm gonna watch it again, study it, like make sure I get those improvements done. Like I said, I didn't get the full camp or anything, so I'm really like glad that kind of I got to prove. Yeah, I was there. Like obviously, like I've been working hard, so I wasn't worried about the whole training and everything. But like there is still more for me to come, so I'm really looking forward to this, like the opportunity to show everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I'm guessing most people sort of know a bit about the Contender series now, but sitting in that chair afterwards, I don't know what it's like sitting there. Just, totally at the mercy of what sort of Dana's saying. I don't know how it felt for you.
Yeah, like we were out there for a bit before Dana come on, and like to be fair to the other lads on the card, like they're all lovely. We just sat there having a chat, like having a bit of a laugh, like congratulating each other and stuff. So it was nice and relaxed. Like definitely, I'd say it's a tense situation for everybody. Like we're all there trying to achieve our goals. So that it was a great night of fights. So I'm not surprised that he gave out 5 contracts. I'm very happy for the other guys on the card as well. They all seem lovely. So it was to be fair, it was just an amazing experience all around. You know what I mean? Like I was just sat there, like everything happened in like the blink of an eye. You know what I mean? Like a couple of days before the fight, like before the flight to the fight, like I didn't even know if it was going to happen. I literally picked my visa up on the way to the airport. Like if one little thing went wrong, it was just not happening. It was so tight, so close. But it was meant to be. So
Yeah. How was it like fight night? Were you like? I'm guessing still jet lagged because you only got out there on the Saturday, wasn't it?
Between you and me, I don't sleep very well on fight week. I'm a bit of a napper. Like I get a bit excited. Like the boys all trained on fight day, and I stumbled in at about like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like just that hour and a half. Like I was up at 4 a.m. having a shadow box around my room. I just get so excited. Like Jack thinks I'm bloody mental. Like I just. Like, people are nervous and stuff. And I remember when I was like 16, they're like, "Oh, were you nervous?" And I'm just like, "No, I just can't wait. I'm so excited." So it was pretty much the same thing. And like I was talking to my friend about this earlier. Like I sat in the corner room again. It just felt like another day at the gym. Like I'm backstage with, 2 of probably the most important people in not only my career but my life, like Uriah and Jack. Like they're massive inspirations and influences on me. Like I'm just sat backstage, like having a bit of banter, like having to move around, like a bit of rolling with Uriah, some pads with Jack, like we're cracking jokes. It literally just felt like another day in the office, and it was so relaxed and so much fun. I just enjoyed every minute of it. There was no room for any sort of negative emotions and like any of that rubbish. Like we just got in there, and it was just another job to do at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think you can sort of see after the fight like how much it meant to like you just sharing it with Jack and Uriah as well. Like how much does it mean having those two there, and like obviously their input in getting you to here as well?
Yeah, I always joke that we've got a running joke that we've actually started calling Jack like Coach Dad, like because he is just such a significant figure for all of us at the gym. And like again, like I've started referring to Uriah as Uncle Uriah. Like he's just like they are, like I said, they're massive parts of my life. Like they put so much time and effort into me, and like as much as like, fighting's a selfish sport, like at the end of the day, like as much as people say they get in here for this, that, the other, you do it for yourself. Like there isn't loads of money in it, there isn't loads of like benefits to doing it. Like we do it purely just because we love it, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Like I do this for me, but at the same time, I'm at that point now where like I step in there, and every time I get that win, like it's such not like a relief because obviously I'm confident, but like it's so nice to get something for them as well. Like they've put so much work into me. I just feel like when I'm going out there, I'm almost like showing them that their investments and all the stuff they've done for me, it's really paying off. And I'd like to think that getting this contract is a bit of a testament to that. And you know, they both told me they're proud of me. So to be fair, that like when Jack sits there and he's like, I'm proud of you, like that means as much to me as when Dana Turner said you got the contract. To be honest, like I just like honestly, it's so nice.
Yeah, for sure. I think it makes you the youngest Brit to be signed for the UFC, and then first Welsh female to be signed. Like, is that nice, or is that just like a nice little extra for you, just getting these like added on?
Yeah, as I said in my post-fight media thing, I did have a bet with Arnold Allen. I beat him by 3 months, so I think I am the youngest Brit. If Arnold's watching this. But no, like everybody loves titles. Like everybody wants to be the first this, the first that. Obviously, it means the world to be the first Welsh woman, and I totally hope that more girls kind of follow suit and come into it. Like I say, like Welsh talent is increasing massively. You know, you've got like all the lads at Shaw's MMA and everything coming through. It's very impressive to watch. So I do hope that a lot of we get some more females in there, obviously. Because women's MMA is definitely caught up, in my opinion. It's just as popular, if not in some places more so. But at the same time, like I'm not too concerned with the titles and everything. Like I just want to go out there, put on strong performances, and climb the ranks. You know what I mean? The only title I'm interested in is that number 1 spot at the end of the day.
Yeah. Was there someone like who inspired you to get into MMA originally? Like. Who was the main one? Was it your mum?
Well, time like me and my mum got into it kind of together. Like I actually, if anything, dragged her into the MMA side of things. I've just always been extremely driven, and I'm not saying that in like an arrogant way. Just like when I do something, I have to do it. Like so I'm not one to half-heart things. You know, like I loved school. I was massive into that. I made sure I got like straight A's. I was dead set on doing that well, and then I was like, oh no, I want to fight now. So you know, I was dead set I was going to be a champ. Like my thing is, if I enjoy something and I'm passionate about it, like if I'm gonna put anyone down to it, it's probably my dad. He's massive on. He might not be a fighter himself, but he could see how much I enjoyed it, how much I loved it, and he was like, no, he's like, just go out there and do it, make yourself the best, be the best, follow your dream. So if anything, it wasn't actually a fighter. It was more my parents backing me and pushing me to just follow what I love. Because at the end of the day, everything else will always be there. He was always saying to me, like, he would drive me around the country. We would leave the house at like 8 a.m. in the morning. He would drive me to like 3 or 4 different gyms, and he would sit outside for like an hour, 2 hours, and then he would drive me to the next gym. Like, so if anything, it was I put it down to him. You know, it's his belief in me as well as my capabilities.
Yeah. Just going back, like Dana speaking afterwards was like very complimentary of you. One thing he sort of did mention was that maybe like you are very young in your career, and that maybe he was maybe hinting at like, oh, maybe getting experience somewhere else. Like, does that bother you at all, or do you feel you're ready for like the UFC at this age?
I think I'm more ready. Like I think at the end of the day, I think a lot of this European talent is up there or above where a lot of the lower ranked UFC girls are. And I've been saying that for quite a while on Cage Warriors, and I do strongly believe that. I've just beaten the best girl outside of the UFC. Like, if you look at the rankings, she's an LFA champ and everything, so like mad respect to her, but she is the best girl outside of the UFC, and I just beat her. You know, like I say, I was on the cusp of getting that finished. Like, I think I put on a strong performance. I didn't have a full training camp. I took this on a few weeks' notice. I missed, you know, even like in that 3 weeks, like just the amount of running around we were doing for medical visas and stuff. Like, I was obviously I was mad focused on the fight, but I wasn't anywhere near max potential. So I do think I'm more than ready. There's girls in the UFC like Kay Hansen. I think there's a couple, like, you know, that Chase Hooper. Like, they're all young. They're crazy young. Like, I might have a little bit less record, but I've got a more extensive amateur record. I fought like I was fighting IMAF world medalists at the age of 16. Like, I really don't see any reason why I can't step in there and put on a show against these UFC girls. Like, I think I've got plenty of experience, and the only reason my record isn't higher than it is purely out of my control. Like, I had like an 8-month layoff, and then the last one's been like an 18-month layoff, and it's not for any reason other than just lack of opponents, bad opportunities, bad timing, like obviously the Corona. Like, so, you know, ideally, if everything had gone to plan, I'd be sat here like 8-0 or whatever. Like, in my head, I'm 6-0. Like, I still completely disregard that loss. But so I really, there's no doubt in my mind. I just look forward to going out there and make sure there's no doubt left in theirs. But I think Dana might have just been trying to build a bit of suspension and pull some strings a little bit. So
yeah, make it very dramatic for TV.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he can't just be out there going contract. Like, trying to build it a little bit, isn't he? So, yeah, like I say, I think maybe he was just trying to give me a bit of incentive to the next one to step out there and show them what they've really signed.
Yeah. As well, I saw on your Instagram, I think, was it your mum meeting Dana? Can you tell me a bit about that? Like, was it 7 years ago or something?
Yeah, it was like 2013, I think UFC was in Manchester. That was the first, funny enough, I've only ever been to 2 UFC events, not including Contenders. That was my first ever, like, kind of live MMA experience. I was 14, like, I'd been training MMA for like over a year. And yeah, like, obviously we were sat like right near the front, and Dana come by, my mum grabbed him. She was like 5 years time, you're gonna be signing up. So it's been 7 nearly, like 6.5, but you know,
close enough.
I told you, so I'll sit down from this 18-month layoff, and yeah, it happened eventually.
No rest for you. You're obviously out in Sacramento now. Back to training. I didn't say the day. I gave you a clear there.
Yeah, I don't know how 21-day suspension works, but yeah, I don't stop. I get too bored. Honestly, like, I had yesterday off, and I was in the airport for most of the day, and I'm just sat there and I was like, I can't wait to get back on the mats. Like, unless I've got a serious injury, like again, I'm that kid. I say kid, I'm not a kid anymore, but I'm that one that's on the mats, and like coaches like, go home. Like, I remember, I've turned up to spa days before, and your eyes would look me up down and gone, no, you don't need to do this today. Like, because I'm just so stubborn, and in my head, I've got to outwork everybody. Like, I'm able to outwork everybody, and I just don't ever want to stop. So yeah, I'm back on the mats.
How long are you going to be staying out there for? Or will it be? I remember speaking to you, and you were sort of aiming to move out here at some point. Is that a done deal?
Yeah. Well, I've got a 3-year visa, so I'm here indefinitely. Well, as far as that's concerned. Yeah, so I've got no plans so far to come home. Met my parents at the airport. I think I was home for about a month. I landed back in like March, stayed at home for like a month, moved a friend in with me so we could isolate together, and we just literally trained in my garage together, and then started having talk of fighting on Cage Warriors and stuff. So I was like, right, I said, see ya, I'm off to England. And then Uriah gave me the text, and I texted my mum and dad, and I was like, I'm going to America, and there's a good chance I'll stay. So they met me at the airport with like a couple of bits, gave me a quick hug, and then that's that. I was gone.
Was that dependent on the UFC, or were you still thinking of doing that anyway?
I started work on my visa in March, which, if I hadn't, this was not going to have been possible at all. My consulate meeting wasn't actually until September, so we were kind of, that in itself was a very big hurdle to jump. The UFC managed to help kind of pull some strings, get me through. But because obviously with everything shut for coronavirus, that didn't open up until like the Monday before. So we were like, I was meant to fly out on Saturday the 1st. I didn't end up getting in until the 4th. And then obviously they were like, right, be up to a week till you get your visa, and I was just there like, well, fight's in a week, so please don't. Picked that up on the way to the airport, and honestly, like, if one little thing went wrong, like, it wasn't happening, so that's why I was very quiet on social media for quite a while. Like, I was... Like,
until you're there, standing, weighing, done, yeah.
It was all out of my control. My poor manager and coach, Jack, the big ball guy that's in my corner, like, he couldn't afford to lose much more hair, and he was certainly plugging those monsters on his sleepless nights trying to get this to happen, so... You know, I'm extremely grateful for him. Like, he's gone above and beyond just to make this possible. Like, you know, like, say, especially in these times, it's just so hard with medicals and everything. Like, it was just hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. But, you know, it almost felt meant to be once we got there. Like, stepping into the fight, it almost like felt, I was a lot more relaxed because I think the build up had been so much that when I got there, I was like, okay, I'm meant to be here. Like, it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I think up until literally, like I say, like 3 days before, I was like, I don't know if this can happen. Like,
yeah, if something was going to stop you, it would have done it by then.
Well, that's me. Like, it was just constant. Like, something come up. Like, you know, I went to my brain scans and we had like 3 MRI machines just stopped working when I got there, and I was just like, this is mad. Like, it was. But we got it done. And I'm very relieved.
Yeah, for sure. Is Jack still going to have an input with your coaching, or is that sort of obviously a bit tougher now with...
Jack is stuck with me. He can't get rid of me. I'm like, my mum always said I'm like a boomerang. No matter how hard she threw me, I always come back. And Jack's stuck with me now as well. But he's my manager at the end of the day. Like, I was talking to him like as you phoned. Like, say, like, and he actually mentioned this morning, he's like, you're only a 10-hour flight away, like, and I got WhatsApp, and nothing's really changed. Like, say, he's based in England, I live in Wales, so the dynamic's not going to change at all, really. He's still going to message me, like, pointers and pick my fights apart and help me game plan when we get an opponent. And, like, say, he's in control of who I fight and where I fight, my sponsors, everything, so he's still going to be the most significant role in my career. You know, it's just, I've had Jack there from day one, and he'll be there till the end.
Yeah. Excited to be out there now, permanently now? Because, yeah, obviously it sounds like there's been a lot going on, but worse places to be training and doing your craft for a living.
Yeah, I've been saying since I was 16, I was like, I'll come out here, this is mum and dad, I was like, this is the gym, this is the one. So we tried a few different gyms. I literally did, I think, like 4 or 5 days at Alpha Male, and I went, yeah, this is the place. Come back, like, a year and a half later, like, I was 17, did my first 9-week, I did, like, 9-week training camp here for my 18th birthday, and it kind of just become my home away from home, and I've been saying ever since then, I was like, one day, I was like, I'm going to live out there, I'm going to train out there, I'm going to be part of their pro team, like, you know, I'm going to be set out there, and I think, you know, like I say, like, there was a lot of roadblocks, a lot of hurdles, and like everything just sort of fell into place, and it almost just, like I say, it feels surreal. It almost feels like I dreamt it. Like I say, I won the fight, I got the contract, I was able to move to Sacramento. Like, just so many boxes was ticked that night, and I did it with the best people around me. You know, my best friend flew out with me to train with me whilst Jack was stuck in England doing boring adult stuff and working all that stuff. You know, Uriah had Alex on that weekend, so, you know, my best friend and training partner Charlie Falco flew out with me, and then Jack joined us, and I had Uriah. Like, it just felt like the best little, like, almost felt like a little holiday. It was great fun. I had like my best friends there. We were just laughing, joking. You know, I weighed in, and then we ate some good food. Like, it was, can't wait to do it again, to be honest.
Next time you be in the Octagon, you'll probably get a bit more of tanned as well. The sun's probably a bit better at hour.
Some tan lines here. I went for an hour and a half walk in Vegas, and I was nice and pink.
Toasty. Have you got any idea when? Obviously, it's early days. Have you got any guidance of like when you're expected to be back out, or are you just sort of waiting for a date?
I know Jack's already talking to Mick. Obviously, I'm on a 21-day suspension, so not sparring or anything. So, like, gotta be smart. So obviously I can't jump straight in there. Like I said, I took this fight on 3 weeks' notice. I can't take another 3 weeks notice fight because I'm not supposed to be training. So I think it really depends on when the fights are, who they've got available. Because I know a lot of girls are booked up at the moment. To be honest, like keeping an eye on the strawweight division, like a lot of the girls are fighting each other. So you know, if anyone drops out or if anyone obviously needs somebody, I'm here. Mick knows where I'm at. Mick knows that I'm game whenever. I would love to get a proper training camp in, because as much as I'm happy with my performance, I really do feel like I feel like I could have done a little bit more. Like I still feel like I could have got that stoppage. But obviously, and like, you know, all the Twitter trolls and that out there, they need to realise, like, if you're fighting these high level girls, like, it is hard to get those finishes. Because at the end of the day, we're all training like professionals. We're all putting hours in at the mat, like on the mats. We're all doing that. It's who turns up on the dates, who's put that little extra bit in. It's who's got that extra heart, that grit, like who's got that little bit extra CV. Like, it's so marginal that, like, at the end of the day, you can't beat yourself up for not getting these stoppages and stuff, because most of the time it's less a case of what you're doing and a case of what they're not. So you know, I was fighting a top girl. She was game, I was game, and it didn't happen that night. But I do think that if I'd had like a proper, even just like you know, I'd had the medicals and visas ready and was able to put like 4 or 5 weeks in solid training, just focusing on this opponent, like, I do think I could have gone out there and probably fought a completely different fight. So making that jump up into the actual UFC ranks, I want to go out there and I want to show them that I am, like, more than experienced enough. I'm more than prepared. And I'm at Team Alpha Male now, so, you know, I'd like to settle in and kind of start putting in that work here and really, really make those leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Is your contract with the UFC, is it like a 4-fight one? I think they're sort of the norm for them.
I think isn't it 3 normally?
Pass. I've had a few 4s, but maybe 3. I don't know. Maybe different.
Yeah, I should probably read it.
Just signed it and pass it away, done.
There's been some excitement and everything. Like, yeah, I'm about to sit down and do some, like, I got some contracts to sign and some, like, interviews and, like, gotta look at opponents and housing and just all sorts of stuff. Like, I've got to get settled in. Like I say, I landed last night and I think I just crashed. Like, I ate a lot of food and just crashed. So
there's worse ways to celebrate.
Stuff done.
We sort of asked you this before, but what is your aim now that you're in the UFC? What is your aim while you've got a contract with them?
To be fair, like I mean, in terms of long-term goals, obviously I want to be the champ, I want to be number one. Like, everyone says that. Like, I'll be thrilled if I can get at least 3 fights in a year. Like, I'd like to get another fight by the end of the year, and then 3 fights next year, maybe 4. Like, I want to get some regular fights in. I want to show everybody that I'm always ready. I'm always training hard, and I just want to get out there. Like, it's been like as much as I'm still improving, I'm on the mats every day. It's not the same when you don't have a fight booked. It's a completely different mentality. Like, I'm still working hard. Like, it's not like I'm slacking off, but I don't know. It feels better. Like, I had like a couple of niggly injuries since like February, and the second your eye text me when you're on Contenders, they just disappeared. Like, it's like my body went, okay, now we can work. I don't know. There's something exciting about having a fight book. Like, I'd like to just keep regular and keep active, and then you know, top 10, number 1 UFC champ. Where let's get it done, sort of thing.
Sounds good. Last one to finish you off. Maybe if there's some like younger people watching who are maybe starting out and thinking, "Oh, can't get a career out of this." You obviously managed to do it for yourself. What would be your sort of advice for maybe getting into a position that you've got? What would you say to them?
I see. The thing for me is it is very circumstantial. I've been very fortunate in that my parents have funded a lot of stuff. They've taken me to competitions. Like, my parents have dedicated so many weekends just driving me across the country so that I can have like one jiu-jitsu match against like a British champ. You know what I mean? Like the amount of there was this one girl when I was a kid, like, my name's Charlie Simkin. I've actually trained with her quite a few times. She's a very high level girl, brown belt now. And we were the only 2 girls in the country in our weight division. And my dad would drive me across the country just so I could go and lose to this girl every weekend. Like, if she watched this, I hated her. I couldn't stand her. I was so competitive. I was just like, I just don't understand. You know, like, you slowly saw the gap close in, and then I stopped growing at about 12, and she kept going. So I think we ended up in different divisions. But my parents dedicated so much time to me, and I've got so much experience, and I've trained with the best girls around and competed against them. So, like I said, I was very fortunate in my circumstance, so I can't necessarily advise people that maybe don't have that sort of thing. I know a lot of people say to me, like, oh, you don't understand, but at the same time, like, if there's something you want to do, just give 100% to it. Like, people were always giving me what ifs and being like, you know, when I left school, I was nearly 16, I was 15, nearly 16, I left school to train full time, and I was like, oh, what if you got injured, what if you get this, what if you get that? Everything is always there. Like, yes, maybe I have a rough idea of the fallback, but don't stress about what ifs, because at the end of the day, if you focus on that or you do something else, then your dream is going to become the what if. You know what I mean? I just say throw yourself into it wholeheartedly. If there's an opportunity to get experience, get it. If you can go train with someone, go train with someone. Like, just take every opportunity you get, and don't worry about what could go wrong or, you know, what needs to go right. Just kind of get in there and get stuck in and just follow it.
Good stuff. Wise words. Listen, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Is there anything else you'd like to add at all, just before we finish?
I would like to answer this quickly, because I have a terrible habit. Like, so I put a post up, I wear their t-shirts and stuff, but like, I honestly, like, words can't explain how grateful I am for them. As much as I big up my parents and thank mum and dad, did get me through it massively. Like, I got Frankton Brute. You know, he's my Thai boxing coach, Jez Lord, actually got me in contact with him. His name's Mike. They've funded an awful lot of training camps. They funded my last 2 training camps, to which I didn't even have a fight at the end of. You know, he's a genuinely lovely bloke. He opened up his like garage for me to train in over the Corona season with my Thai boxing coach, because he's got like a full matted, like he got matted a bit. Like, he's just like someone that really supports me, and kind of, you know, it's such an expensive hobby. I don't think people realise that. Like, they're like, oh, you get this much to fight, and I'm like, yeah, but I spent 3 times that much in training, and then I had medicals, then I had travel. You know what I mean? Like, us fighters aren't making money until we get up there. So obviously people like this really help make that goal a reality. And then I've got like Tatami Fightwear, Q&T, my supplements and my training kit. You obviously day in, day out, repping them. Like, there's more. Like, I'm sponsored by Anytime Fitness, which is great. I can train anytime, any place. There's loads. I've got Reach and Peak. They help me out with a bit of money each month as well, and they kind of do a lot of media stuff for me. It's amazing how much support I receive, really. Like I say, I'm very fortunate. Good
stuff. Well, listen, I know your food's probably a bit cold now, might need back in the microwave, but thank you very much for your time.
Sat in a microwave.
What's that?
It feels like I'm sat in a microwave.
It's hot here as well, back in the UK. It's probably nothing like Sacramento though, but a bit warm at the moment. But that's what you get for being a pasty white boy. Well, you'll be proud of me soon. Don't worry. Good stuff. Oh, listen. Thanks for your time, and have a nice day.
You too. Yeah.
Good stuff.